everybody, my name is Kiahonfire and welcome back to a brand new video on Conan Exiles. Today we are looking at sorcerer builds, so what is going to be good for you to wear if you want to become a fully fledged sorcerer. So of course with this you're going to know that when you are a sorcerer you need good amounts of corruption, which is going to halve your health and stamina bars. That means you need something to upkeep the rest of it or give you a bit more juice when it does come to, you know, overall combat. Otherwise you're going to have a struggle. Today's builds, I'm going to give you a variety of things you can choose or lose. It's up to you, but I've got a few variations in there that should be able to help with the particular build I'm thinking of. And this one should be great at upping your HP, giving you a bit more stamina, upping your follower damage, and giving you a nice big chunky amount of armor. So looking at build number one on a female model, it is the Aspect of the Bat, Abyssal Mail, Gloves of Jill, Abyssal Leggings, and Reinforced Skelos Cultist Sandals. Those with a keen eye would see that the Abyssal Mail and the leggings have timers on them and they expire after an hour, so I do have an alternative build for that if people don't like the timers. For me, it's a big letdown having an hour timer on this kind of thing, even though this armor is really amazing to use. You're going to have to constantly replenish it every hour. And that could be really annoying. Also, another thing with this armor is you cannot stick any plating on it or anything, any armoring buffs. So it comes as is, so you might want to use a different one, but for now I'm just going to show you this one. So the reason this one is so good is because you have the Aspect of the Bat helmet, which you can get from the Vaults in Sipta. Is a recipe that you can go ahead and make. Doesn't have an amazing armor value, but it does give you a smacking plus 60 in health and can give you some really nice concussive damage. So these builds are, you know, actually really decent at doing concussion as well. It just comes with the whole sorcery thing. When you're looking at follower damage builds, they often or not come with concussion. When we're looking at the Abyssal Mail, you can see it gives you a whopping plus 10% in both agility and strength damage. So depending on what kind of weapons you like, you can build it around there and get a really nice bonus. It's actually going to give you a plus 20% in both because the bottoms also give you another plus 10%. And you're going to also notice it gives you another plus 60 in both of those, which means you're going to get absolutely amazing health. It actually comes up to 180 plus HP in total for the entire armor build right there. Another thing I really love about this build is the Gloves of Jill, because you get Jill's stamina, which is an absolutely amazing thing to have since you only have 75 stamina and you're going to need some more. It increases your stamina regen, why is it less than your current health? So of course you're not going to have much health anyway, so you're going to have amazing regen with this build if you have these gloves. And you can just keep making them. So your regen's going to be really, really good. It's going to be a happy time. And you should be able to, you know, get done what you like. So it should be very, very good that way. There we go. Our followers even going in for it. We'll also look at attributes later as well. And I'll show you where I've put those also. Anyway, looking at the sandals, you're going to notice we have a plus 8% in follower damage, which is going to be very important because as a sorcerer, it's probably more fun to bring around a follower because the build I have today is going to help with having a follower and it's going to knock into your sorcery build and work kind of toe and toe. Should be really good. Now, for those that do not have Sipta and don't like the timers, I have another build for you. This build does not require any DLCs, it just requires the base game of Conan Exiles, and you just have to do a bit of farming here and there, and that's why I like this build so much, because it's ideal for those who don't have any of the DLCs, and it's really viable. So, we're going to start off with Mask of the Witch Doctor. Now, some of these are legendary, these two, Commander's Chestplate and the Mask of the Witch Doctor. You're going to need to farm undead city boss, like the unnamed city, you know, dead bosses, to be able to get these pieces. And it can be a bit blah to get them out, but that's one way you can get them. And once you've got them, they're absolutely amazing. So I can definitely say, if you can grab these pieces, it would make a very nice build, you know. So Mask of the Witch Doctor, plus 40 health right there. Lovely stuff. That ties in with our Commander's Chestplate, which is plus 60 health. And this build's going to be really more centered around follower damage because it does absolutely amazing at follower damage over the other build I showed you, because it gives you a plus 24% follower damage instead of the just plus 8%. Both the sandals, the hand wraps and the helmet is going to help with the follower damage, so if you want that extra follower damage, it's definitely going to help if you get those pieces, and you'll get that lovely 24% bonus, so your follower is going to do more damage and it'll be happy days. I've chosen the redeemed, Legion Tacit as well, because it gives you a plus 15% in stamina, so you're going to get a bit more stamina, which should hopefully make up for not having the Jill gloves, and we can use some elixirs as well to buff that up as well. That will help with your build. You are going to get a plus 6% in agility weapon damage, so you could use daggers with this build if you wanted to, if you didn't want to waste that kind of thing, or you can choose not to. It depends, it's all up to you. For me, I'm just going to continue using strength because I love strength weapons. I know it's a bit wasteful, but we just want that follower damage right there because it's very, very nice. And then of course you get the concussion, plus 20% concussion increase. So again, it's going to be decent at doing your concussion. And you're going to see we get a bonus of, 827 armor, 300 HP and 82 stamina. So not too far off the other one, and none of your pieces will expire. However, getting these two pieces is going to be a little bit more difficult to grab. You could, if you also wanted to, swap out either of the helmets for the missile helmet. It's very, very good as well. It will give you a lovely 10% in agility and stamina, weapon damage on your head, and it will also give you a lovely 12% bonus damage in follower damage, which would be really nice as well, especially with the build I just showed you. But I thought I'd give you a few options because, some people don't have DLCs, and then it might be nice if you just played Exiles to have a Exiled Lands, outfit, which this one is. You can get all of this on Exiled, and then this is a little bit more siptery right here, and then the missile is just like anywhere because you can make that and have that anywhere. Anyway, that's the kind of build we've gone with. A really, really nice build. You can mix and match it however you like. It should be very, very good. Now looking at my attributes, I've built this in a very certain way. Again, we've upped the grit because you want better grit with your sorcery build. Otherwise, you're just going to get in sticky situations and keep running out of stamina, and that is really annoying. And I've tried it without the grit with this build, and it is just, no, we need the grit. So, if you do the +2 in here in grit, you get 10 points into grit. You're going to go for tenacity, you're going to increase your armor by 40%. You're going to go for tenacity and you're going to increase your armor by 40, and then you're also going to get a plus 20 in stamina, which is lovely. And then you really want that endurance perk, which is the brown one, which is your stamina regenerates 25% faster. So that's going to be really helpful for this build, okay? So make sure you grab those. You also have authority. I didn't do it up to war party, but you could if you wanted to, or make it corrupt and have like more followers like coming out of you. I found it's a bit more useful just to have the first 3, so just have 15 points in authority and then make them all corrupted. You're going to need soul essence for this to work as well, so just bear that in mind. So we've gone for frenzy. When you deal damage in combat, your followers enter a frenzied state. Frenzied followers deal 3% increased damage for each corrupted authority tribute. So we're going to be doing a total of 9 because we have, 3 of those. You also have Flesh Bond, which is a damage taken by you is split between you and your followers. That's going to be handy for you. And you also have Devour, which is damage dealt by your followers heals you. So that's going to be really handy for healing you up in battle because you have less HP. This is going to be really helpful for you. Looking into our Vit tree, I have made all 3 Vit perks corrupt, so that's 15 points of it. You're going to have the Grotesque buff as your first one, which is you gain passive health regeneration that scales with your corrupt vitality. So you're going to have 3 of those, so that's going to help, regenerate yourself. You also have your Twisted Flesh, which is you have a chance to deflect damage, and the chance scales with your corrupted vitality. So yeah, you could deflect the damage, and that could be quite nice. You also have Petrified, which is you are immune to bleed, poison, disease, and similar effects. These are the most important ones I wanted out of the vitality tree, because this is going to give you a lovely, you're not going to get bleed, poison, or anything like that. And those are usually quite dangerous, especially if you have low HP builds, to be affected by. So it's going to be really handy having that. Then we look at strength. You can see I've fully done it up to 20 and put 15 corruption in there. So we have 3 trees again in here. So we're going to look at our first one, which is Scourge. deal additional damage that scales with your corrupted strength. So we're going to deal a bit more damage because we have more corruption in us. You also have Mule Kick. Your kick knocks back some enemies rather than it knocks them down. So that could be handy if you're trying to knock something out and, you know, it's being annoying. You could just go and kick it with the Mule Kick. We also have Rack. The blows from your strikes numb your opponents, reducing their damage potential. This one is absolutely key because if you're fighting a boss or something really hard hitting, you're gonna want this because, you know, you don't have as much HP, so you want to numb their damage potential, otherwise you'll be in big trouble. And then you've seen I haven't corrupted the very last one, and I've kept in Blood Mad Berserker. While below 25% health, which is really easy to do in this build, you cannot be staggered or knocked down. Your damage is increased by an additional 10% and your armor is increased by additional 50. So again, this is going to be extremely helpful, especially if you get in a sticky situation, and that Berserker perk is going to really help you out by giving you the extra damage, not being able to be staggered or knocked down, and you'll have the additional, you know, armor. So it's a really solid build. It's going to be really strong and really helpful. Now, what I've done to a lot of the armor here is I've stuck bolt platings on them, and that basically gives them a massive armor bonus. So it's going to be really good, especially if you're wearing what I'm wearing now, because you can do it to all of the pieces. So it's going to be very handy having that in. So if you have bolt plating on, it's going to give plus 25 armor to each and every piece of armor you put that on. So of course it's going to give you a lot more armor if you use the bolt plating. And for your weapons, if you can get your hands on it, you're going to want a master weapon fitting, because that's going to give you a massive, you know, damage bonus as well. You can use the average bag kits as well if you want, that you can just make instead of having to go and do dungeons for these or whatever. But I'm just saying, use these if you can, if you are available, you know, all of that good stuff. Now, when it comes to elixirs, you do have a choice. If you're finding you're not having enough health, you could always try the Elixir of Vigor, because that's going to give you plus 60% health in there. Sorry, plus 60, not percent. And then you have the Elixir of Freedom. This could be really useful, especially for the build I'm wearing currently, where you don't have the Jill gloves. You're going to need that extra stamina, so having the Elixir of Freedom could be a really good choice. Or if you perhaps just wanted to put more damage into your followers, you could use the Tears of Gular, which gives you a plus 12% damage bonus for your followers. Or if you're finding you're getting knocked down a bit too much, you could always use the Elixir of Enduring. Any of these elixirs are perfectly fine to use. It's to your preference of what you want to use and how you know, strong you feel with it. So any of those elixirs are fine. Just remember, you can't stack them all, and you have to choose one, not all of them. So that's one of the downsides. When it comes to corrupting your trees, you're going to need about this amount of soul essence as well. So you can see I have 45 soul essence. You're going to need roughly about that to corrupt your trees. So you're going to have to kill a lot of people. But if you want to be a sorcerer and do the corrupty things, you're going to need that. There's also a choice of food you can have as well that is a good idea. One of them being the Feast of Zokedo, because it gives you a stamina regeneration bonus, which is again great if you have a struggle with your stamina. If you're using the Gloves of Jill, don't bother with this one, because those are just going to, you know, outmatch it. It's the same with any of the other feasts as well. If you want better stamina, you can use the stamina regeneration off of those, because remember, elixirs and your foods, you know, they stack differently. They're two different ones. So they won't overwrite each other. You could also use the Sumerian Feast, which is really good. You can go out in the world and learn that, and it will only take a dried meat, mushroom stew, and a mead. Bit expensive, but it will give you a lovely plus 50% in armor if you can get your hands on it. One of the ones that I really like in here as well is the Hearty Feast, which is a plus 12% in follower damage. Although again, it's one of those pricey ones again, which requires herbal tea, spice, and steak and eggs. Or this one that is an absolute banger, because it's only pretty much salt and meat, is a plus 60 health stat with a savoury jerky. Another really nice one you can try is the Trail Jerky, which gives you a plus 50 in armour, which is actually really cheap and easy to make as well. It's literally exotic flesh and salt. That's incredibly easy. If you can't get enough salt, grindstone in a grinder, that will give you loads of salt. And another one I really like as well is the iced tea. That's going to give you stamina regeneration, so you could use that also. So let's do, for an example, I'll grab a herbal tea out of here. And then I'm going to grab one of these, the Tears of Gula. I'm going to use that. So how about that? That should be lovely. I think I actually dropped my herbal tea. Oh no, there it is. Let's eat that. You can see I got some bonuses here. And then I might just use this one. So there we go, I got all my things in. I probably could actually use a different food because I now have the Jill gloves on. So let's see. Let's add some more armor, shall we? So we'll eat that. And you're going to see I have 941 armor now, so I'm really strong. And I have a decent amount of stats and everything as well. You can see I have the follower damage, the Jill stamina, the armor, and I have sating, which is of course going to help keep me nice and fed, and passive regenerate healing. And then we're going to look at one of my thralls I have here that we're going to bring with me. Now, when it comes to thralls, I absolutely recommend putting a mace in them because they're top dog compared to anything else. They kill quicker and do more damage just because how it moves in a thrall's hands. If you get your hands on Aegis Bane, it's absolutely god. If not, Star Metal Mace comes close behind, honestly. It's really good still. So just use one of those, and those you can make. So I'm just going to use the Aegis Bane for now. You want to make sure to feed your thrall as well, whatever food you like for it. So whatever you want to buff. I'm just going to give it some gruel for now, even though I don't want to buff it for that, but just for the sake of the video. And you're going to see I have some decent gear on this guy as well. He has the bulk plating as well. So you can see he has Black Knight Hood, Frost Giant chestplate, Void Forge, Dragon Gauntlets, leggings, and boots. And the reason I have this on is because it's going to give lots of health, a bit of stamina, health, lots of health. I could probably switch out the stamina one, but this gives me a lovely armor bonus, so that's why it's on this guy for now. And he's level 0 and he's got 3k health, so happy days. But the reason I'm bringing him along is, of course, you're going to need to see the follower damage take effect as well. So, of course, we're going to do that. And you can see even with the gear I have on right now, despite it being decently heavy, minus this because it's always not very heavy, you know, I'm not taking up much space in my inventory, even with all this gear on, so it's actually pretty decent. So, let's go find some mobs to go and kill. Let's try Winged Death. He's always solid of a target to go for, isn't he? Let's get him to stop hitting us. Okay, we're going to get the bonuses now, and hopefully you're going to see this armor in the works. So you can see he's hurting me, but look, I am healing like nobody's business. I might as well be immortal, like... Let's just get him to hit me like full on, and then see my follower damage, and you can see I am healing because he's damaging. So you can see I'm doing really well. I'm having a fun time. I'm immortal. He's getting his frenzied state because he's following me. I'm just going to up his damage, and he's killing them really fast as well. And of course, the good thing about maces is it applies Sunder. So if you have a mace, of course you're going to do a lot better when it comes to defeating bosses because you're going to get extra Sunder damage. I'm taking the damage, by the way, on purpose, so you can just see that my health is not moving. Like, my health is just fully regenerating. Happy days. And yeah, it's really good build. You're not going to struggle at all with this build when it comes down to it. We use the other one without the missile as well in a minute, so you can see that. It's just anything, like, damage-wise he does is going to give me, you know, a massive bonus in health. So it's going to be happy days, easy. This build is durable, so it's definitely going to help out. It's going to be very good. I mean, 827 armor is nothing to sniff at. Let's go and kill another boss. So we'll bring in Winged Death again and have a go at this guy. Give him some good slapping. Oh, did you see that? Did you see that health bar just went down really hard when he got that frenzied buff? So yeah, you're going to see, again, you have to be really careful with your stamina, especially if you don't have anything buffing it, but of course, because we have the grit in there, it's going to help a lot more than not having it. And remember, when you do have this kind of thing, you're not going to have as much dodging and stuff, so having a shield actually might be worth having, so you can block if you need to. But you can see my follower's doing really well with the plussing and damage and everything. He's doing excellent. Even me, again, I'm getting hit and I'm just healing straight back up again because he's doing that. So even if I do lose my stamina, I'm in a sticky situation. Let's say I have no stamina, blah, 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 blah. I'm just standing there. My thrall's still hitting it, so I'm just going to heal straight back up again. No problem. So I might as well have, like, infinite health here. It's no problem. Happy days. But it's always good to have a bit of health, because again, you might get hit like that and it would be very bad, and you're going to need a little extra health to help you. So yep, it's a really good example. It's going to be a really solid build for you to use, especially if you want sorcery and you're going to have that corruption bringing you down. Having the attributes and stuff, even the passive regeneration you're seeing right now, is really decent, because I'm healing up really fast again, and boom, done, healed. So yeah, definitely have a look at this. It's worth doing. Having that healing coming back from your follower, the Devour effect, is so worthwhile. And if you can, you know, can be bothered with the missile stuff, it's going to give you a lovely bonus as well, and would be worth it. But if you cannot, like me, like often or not, like I don't want to keep making armor every hour. It does have lovely bonuses, but it's one of those, you could be out on a big adventure and it expires, and then suddenly you have no chest plate or bottoms. It would be awful. So I do opt in for the, you know, other stuff now and again, because it's going to help out a lot. And do remember, with the abyssal stuff, you can't dye it, but everything else you can dye. So if you don't like the look of this, you can always dye it different colours and have it how you like it. But it does look pretty cool in some purple, I'm not gonna lie, it does look pretty cool. But anyway, that's the video for today. I hope it helps you out, and you have a great time in the sorcery build and all of that. It should be a pretty decent build. Again, I'm going to reiterate over stats just for one last time. When it comes to the first build with the Mask of the Witch Doctor, the one I'm wearing right now, Commander's Chestplate, Skelos, Master Hand Wraps, Redeemed Legion Tacit, and the Cultist Sandals, is going to give you a total of 100 HP, plus 20 concussion, plus 24% follower damage, plus 15 stamina, plus 6% agility weapon damage, and it's going to give you a whopping 827 armor, and it's going to put you in the heavy class. There's one big difference between this build and the previous one, is it is a medium build for the other one, so of course you're going to have a quicker, snappier roll, which is the plus of it. But again, you need a missile armor to pull that off, so just bear that in mind. And that other build is the Aspect of the Bat, of Missile Mail, Gloves of Jill, the Missile Leggings, and the Sandals. That's going to give you a plus 180 HP. It's going to give you plus 25 concussion, plus 20% agility and strength damage, and a plus 8% follower damage. It's also going to give you 891 armor and a medium weight class. So very good stuff. Pick your poison however you like it. But I hope you like this build today. Thank you for watching. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.